Hello everybody, this is Jesse Gillen-Walters with IndiePRO.io, and I'm here to grace you all with another glorious hot seat video answer. Now let me explain a lot of what I just said, because I said a lot that you might not understand. IndiePRO.io is a music marketing community slash agency slash coaching program slash resource center for independent musicians, geared towards teaching independent musicians how to effectively do digital marketing and start to build their businesses online and reliably monetize their music. And part of that community, kind of the overall goal is to get all these independent musicians together, teach them things, watch them succeed or not succeed with these things, and then we all kind of are able to see that happen and adjust and tweak and try other things. And as a unit, theoretically, we're all converging around a greater truth about the best way to be a musician online. And that's kind of what we're about. And part of that initiative, to help with that initiative, we've come up with this hot seat program. And basically what it is it's a way for any of our community members to send us a question that they were not able to get answered through the community or our resources, and get a thorough video response from an IndiePRO team member addressing that question. And you get these answers pretty much within a week of you asking the question, which is a pretty good turnaround, I would say. And I have a question today that I'm going to answer from Tim Brandt. So what I'm going to do is read the question, then I'm going to kind of decode it for anyone that may not know what's going on. And then I'm going to answer it kind of bit by bit. And this one has a few things going on. So I'm excited to dig in. So here we go. Tim says, I want to start running some campaigns to Spotify. However, I want to retarget the people who click on the link to send them another offer. What's the best way of doing this? In Facebook Ads Manager stats under engagement, there is a link clicks metric. However, I don't know if I can use this for a custom audience. I could send them to a landing page first and try to pixel them. However, that seems like a pain. I also could use video views. However, then I would have to use the video views objective for the original ad. Debatable. What's the best way for me to retarget people who engage with my Spotify campaigns to send them another offer? All right, so first let me go bit by bit. Tim wants to start running some campaigns to Spotify. Basically what that means is Tim wants to run an ad that links people when the ad reaches them. There's a link on it that sends them to one of their Spotify songs, so that we can generate streams, theoretically gather up some people who enjoy the music and thereby might like other stuff, and also maybe get some algorithmic love on Spotify if this ad is successful, so to speak. So then Tim says, however, I want to retarget the people who click on the link to send them another offer. So he doesn't just want to run this ad to get some Spotify activity. He wants to also set these people aside who did click on the button and say, put them in an audience so that he can reach them with something else, because these people are noteworthy, right? They clicked the ad, clearly the ad intrigued them, and so these are potential fans for him. And then he's saying, what's the best way of doing this? Now I have maybe a few answers, but before I give that answer, I think I'm going to go through the rest of the question and clarify some things, and then give my overall answer. In Facebook Ads Manager stats, under engagement, there's a link clicks metric. So Tim is just seeing that within the ads platform, Meta Ads Manager, he's seeing that there, Ads Manager is tracking link clicks somewhere, right? It's a metric that can be used and observed. So clearly that's something that is a distinguishable thing. And so Tim is theorizing that maybe he can take link clicks metrics and put that aside as a custom audience, and that's what he says here. Now, what he means there is, a custom audience in Meta Ads Manager is kind of this audience I was theorizing at the top. How do we retarget people that have taken a former action? Custom audiences are typically the answer to this. If somebody, if you run a video, you're getting a bunch of video views, you can, in Meta Ads Manager, create a custom audience of people who have watched that video a certain amount of time, and however many people that was fits in that audience, and you can use that audience in another campaign. So Tim is saying, hey, there's a link clicks metric. Can I put that in a custom audience? And he's saying he does not know. I could tell you right now, you cannot. But more on that in a moment. Then he says, if I could send them to a landing page first to try to pixel them, however, that seems like a pain. So he's saying, if I can't retarget the link clicks in a custom audience, what I can do is send them to a different page before sending them to Spotify that has a tracking pixel on it. Because you can turn people that you've tracked with a pixel into a custom audience. You can put them into a custom audience. So this would allow for that to happen. And then he says, I could also use video views. However, then I have to use the video views objective for the original ad. So, Tim, I would actually, rather than kind of decoding this isn't entirely accurate, Tim, so I'm just going to save that for the end. So I'm going to set that aside for now. What's the best way for you to retarget people engaged with your Spotify campaigns and send them to another offer? Okay, so that is everything he said. And if I were to answer it, I would start with the link clicks thing. So, Tim, first of all, you were keen to think about, well, can I create a custom audience of people who have clicked the link on my ad? You can't do that. So it seems kind of goofy. It would be cool if you could, but it's not like a video campaign where it's like, let me run a video, collect 1,000 50% viewers on this one video, and then I can go to a custom audience and say, this video over here, give me the 50% viewers of just that video. It would be nice, and I get the intuition of like, hey, let me create a custom audience for link clicks, and I can pick any post. Give me this post, give me all the people who click the link. Just not available. So that is out of the window. Now, could you send them to a landing page first to try to pixel them? Yes, you could. And then you say, however, that seems like a pain. I don't know how you mean that. Do you mean it's a pain for you to set up, or it's a pain for the customer experience, for the fan experience to click an interstitial page? Personally, the only way you're going to be able to, if I were to squarely answer your question, how do I track someone going to Spotify? You have to do it two ways. You have to use a smart link, like Smart URL Genius or Linkfire, and put your pixel, use that service, associate your pixel with it. And what this can do is it'll produce a link for you that goes to Spotify, and on the way it just fires a pixel event to your ad account. So that offers no interruption, no interstitial page, and does fire a pixel event. So you can do that, and then you can use that for specific audience retargeting. That's one option to squarely answer your question. Because on these videos, I typically dance all the way around the question and offer a bunch of clarifications, but I would rather overly nitpick the question and give you an overwhelming amount of information. So that's that. The second thing is that you could do the interstitial page. The benefits there, the downside is that they're hitting an interstitial page and you're giving them a point of friction. They can't jump right into the song in the heat of the moment where they are excited to listen to it. So you give them pause and you lose conversions for that reason. You lose people actually making it over to the Spotify, actually streaming that song on Spotify or whatever. However, the landing page gives you a couple bonuses, which is that you're able to brand it. You're able to, which may have an impact, you can put copy on there, images and such to kind of build a bigger image of who you are to them. You can offer other streaming services. So maybe you're reaching someone that doesn't have Spotify with a Spotify link. And so they're less inclined because they don't have Spotify Premium to listen to it, but they do have Apple Music and you're offering it there. So there's that benefit. And then the third benefit is that obviously you can track with reckless abandon. You can put any pixel event that you need on that page and design it however you need. So those would be the two clear options for like if I want to send people to Spotify and track exactly who clicked the ad. Those are two ways. Now, let me debunk sort of some of these other things, or this other thing. You said you could use video views, however, then you would have to use the video views objective for the original ad. Not true. You could run any kind of ad with any kind of objective, reach, engagement, conversions, traffic, with a video on it, and that video is collecting video views as that ad goes around, no matter how you set that up. If there's a video there and it's reaching people, obviously you're going to be collecting some amount of video views that could be retargeted. And so it's not true that you have to turn this into a video views ad to then retarget those video views. You can retarget those video views no matter how you're running that video, or if that video is just innately a part of another ad campaign. Now, it is true that your video view, if you were to use a video views objective on this first campaign, you would get more video views and obviously build up a bigger retargeting audience than if you didn't. If you're running it for traffic and going for link clicks, you're going to end up with less video views because you're not telling Facebook to specifically get you that. So that's just a nuanced kind of clarification. Like, that's not how it must go. It's not like you have to run a video views campaign as the only method to then be able to retarget a video. You can retarget the views of any video no matter how few views it has, and no matter what context it has existed in, even if it was an organic post that you've never put any spend behind. So there's that. So that is to say, if you were running a traffic ad to Spotify to cold audience with a video on it, you could retarget those video views. And in a sense, that would give you, what that would do is, it would give you a sense of who that post reached, you know? If you were to retarget 3-second video views or 15-second video views, basically what that does is it allows you to retarget the general audience that post reached. And that's not an irrelevant audience exactly, though it's also not what I would do. But I just wanted to explain there are merits to potentially using the video views audience, and it doesn't necessitate having run like a video views campaign first. So I just wanted to make that clear. So what is my formal recommendation with all this being said? Well, Tim, this is how I feel about this dilemma, because it's a common thing. First of all, there's just this is where I stand with it. If I get someone to Spotify, doesn't matter how many times I've pixeled them, doesn't matter what loops I've sent them through between the ad and Spotify, doesn't matter how much aggressively I've deep linked, smart linked them, it just doesn't matter. If they are landing at that, if you manage to get them to that Spotify play button, you will never be able to track, I mean, maybe one day. At the moment, you are not able to track if they click that button, and if they've clicked that button, how long they've listened. And so you won't be able to know if they've listened unless they've clicked it and listened to it for 30 seconds, and then you see a number go up in your Spotify dashboard the next day, provided Spotify for Artists actually loaded that day, which is not always a guarantee. And then on top of that one play is in the midst of all of your plays, which is a mix of organic and radio and maybe editorial and maybe algorithmic, whatever. So what I'm trying to say here is I find it to be a bit of a fool's errand to try to aggressively track Spotify results through ads, because the best you can do is put them in front of that play button. Whatever happens after there is very ambiguous, and it takes a lot of manual tracking or kind of some funky workarounds like sending them to your own playlist and then seeing the plays on that playlist, which is a valid strategy. But my point being, because that's the case, getting so granular with who clicked the button on Spotify, it's like, if I can get those people dialed into a custom audience unambiguously and know these are the people that clicked my ad that went to Spotify, it still does not tell me who streamed and who liked it and who cared, who clicked it and it was a mistake, you know? And so I don't get caught up in that, you know? I'm not really all that interested in nailing down that perfect little cross-section of people. And so I would say to you, you don't need to focus that hard on the specifics of of those people for the sake of retargeting. Now, for this, there's other applications for wanting to track these people, like, for example, creating a lookalike audience out of that custom audience, and then theoretically that lookalike audience will be more predisposed to clicking your next streaming link because you've built an algorithmically backed audience on them. But that's not what you're asking. You're asking for the sake of retargeting. I would just say, for example, like, maybe your video views audience is actually not irrelevant. If you can use your video views for the video using that ad as your source of your audience, then then theoretically anyone that has reached 3 seconds of that video has then also clicked the button. If they've clicked the button, they've most likely also watched 3 seconds, unless they lightning fast clicked it as soon as they saw it. And so while you will have far and away more people in that audience than have actually clicked, you're going to have, for every 1,000 people, you might have however many clicks, very few. I would rather have an audience of like, here is 10,000 people that I've reached with this Spotify ad. And out of these 10,000 people, a lot of people, this amount of people clicked, this amount of people engaged, or, I made an impression with the song, and this many people saw this amount of the video, whatever. I would rather have too much and just know that my song has reached them and that a lot of them are warm to it, and work from there to send them the offer. And so you're going to reach some irrelevant people, but that's really always going to be the case. And that's where I would start. If I had more information on like what the offer was and what the vision for this offer was, I might have some more specifics. But if you're just saying, hey, generically speaking, I want to run a Spotify ad for cold generation of audience and Spotify activity, and then I want to retarget that audience, I would say use basically your larger engagement audiences, your wider video view audiences for the video you ran, and that should cover, generically speaking, the warm audience that you've generated through this ad, even though it's not only the people that clicked. But I'd rather work with this bigger audience and mine down with that bigger yet still warm audience and see how they react to this follow-up offer, and then kind of work from there. Again, just because tracking one by one Spotify clicks, I find to be a bit of a fool's errand. We never really know the quality of that person because we can't track what happens on Spotify. So I've given you a bunch to think about and look at. I hope that all makes sense. I'm hoping to give you more information than less to work off of, but I hope it also wasn't conflicting information. So I think you could probably run with that. If you have further questions, I'll look out for your name in the group. But that is my opinion and my direction on this topic. So I hope it helped anyone watching, including Tim in particular. And I will see you in the community. Goodbye.